And welcome back to the Sports Hub Golf Club. Joining me now, Matt Porter of the Boston Globe, who recently had a golf experience that I want to say I've never heard of before. I've heard of it kind of in passing. I didn't think it was a thing, but since it is in the paper of record, it is a thing. So, Matt, I want to hear all about your experience with the Llama Caddy. Once again, a Llama Caddy. This was in the Globe a couple of days ago. Matt, how did this come to be?
I think it came to be because, as some listeners who are familiar with my work may know, I used to cover the Bruins, so I used to have a very defined role. That role has been opened up to all sorts of things now. I write features, I do investigations, I do random spot news stories, and when someone from a PR team working for a resort in New Hampshire reaches out and says, "We've been reading your stuff. Would you like to golf with llamas?" I say, "Yes, let me check with my editors." And then I send an email to my editors saying, "We're doing this, right?" So that was pretty much it.
By the way, when you went from the Bruins to more investigative, in-depth reporting like Llama Caddies, is that when you went from Matt to Matthew? Because I've known you as both over the years, but I noticed on this most recent byline, I believe it was Matthew. Is that because of the gravitas of the story?
Yes, certainly it must be that those decisions. I know my email is Matthew Porter. I go by. Everybody calls me Matt, so
Oh no,
that's
I just double
same
checked
old
the
Matt.
Globe story. It's Matt. It's still Matt. Okay. Yeah, you haven't gone all highbrow on us because you're doing the llama caddy story. All right.
You're certainly onto something though, because it is, I wanted to be very proper with these caddies when I got up
Yes.
there. I wanted to introduce myself. I wanted to get their names. I wanted to get a little, you're interviewing someone and you want to get them to open up a little bit. You want them to, tell you stuff that they haven't told anyone else. And I was
Right.
trying to get there with these guys. They weren't having it until I brought out the alfalfa pellets.
Okay. So let's take this from the beginning. And if you're watching the video of this, you can see Matt there with two of the llama caddies who are named in the story. Do you remember their names off the top of your head, Matt?
I'll never forget. It's Elmer is if you're looking at the video here, he's on the right, darker fur. He's older and a little more temperamental. He's also the only one who can actually caddy, who's actually been trained how to caddy. And on the left is Yowie. Yowie's a bonded. They're a bonded pair, so they worked in carrying toddlers and bags of other kinds at a previous job that they had. So yeah, it's Elmer and Yowie, and of course, you mentioned the seriousness of the journalism. One of the things you learn in journalism school is always get the name of the dog. That's a little detail for your writing, and I had to go. There is an email in my inbox, a chain going back and forth with the resort on how to spell Yowie, how to spell the name of the llama. Was it
Right.
Yowie, like the religious thing, or was it Yowie, like Yowie Zowie? And it's the latter. It's Yowie.
Okay. Now you mentioned this in the story, and you just mentioned again a bonded pair. What does that mean?
So llamas are. I couldn't tell you other animals that are like this, but I know there are other animals that are basically they pick a friend and they're buddies for life, and that's a bonded pair. They work together, they stay together. They're just like Bert and Ernie, and that's what they are. So they go out. It's kind of like they calm each other down, sort of thing. When some idiot from the Boston area is putting clubs in a leather saddle, the other one's right there to say, "It's okay, man. Don't worry."
Okay. So you get the call from what's the name of the resort?
The Mountain View Grand.
Okay.
Um,
And they say,
yeah.
hey, we got llama caddies up here. Come and check it out. Now, just
Mhm.
golf course itself, is it a 9 hole? Is it an 18 hole? I know it's a whole resort and spa situation up there. So what do they have there golf wise?
Yeah, I guess there was. I have the name in the notes, so I apologize to his family. But there was somebody who was designing a lot of the courses up there in the 1920s, and that's it's a 9 hole. So it has some of the signature elements of the courses in the area, which namely the postage stamp greens, really little tiny postage stamp greens that they're going to fall off, sharply. You'd kind of expect that with a mountain course, a lot of like little mini, big elevation, but also like little kind of mini hills and stuff. It was short. I really, when I was going on here, when you asked me to come on, I was like, I know we're going to talk about llamas. I don't know how much I can tell you about the course, only because we played 2.5 holes
Yeah, well,
of this.
and that is, for if you've done stories like this before, and I've done, visits to golf courses for this show, and when I was working with Kevin there at Golfing the World, yeah, you play fake golf when you're doing these things. Like I've been on beautiful golf courses in Florida and Barbados, and I didn't get a chance to really play any of them. You
Well,
go out to the middle
yeah.
of the fairway in the second hole that has a nice backdrop. You get a couple of shots there, and then you skip over to number 7 for the greenside bunker, and you're like, "Come on, man, are we going to play? No, we're not going to play. We're working." And those are two
This is,
different things.
I hope we're not going too far inside baseball here, but it's the same as when somebody will say, "What's your favorite ballpark?" You've been to all the ballparks. What's your favorite ballpark?
No idea.
My thoughts are going to be easy in and out, good seating in the press box, like,
Good
is the
food,
staff friendly? Yeah. What are the treats, for halftime at a football game kind of thing.
right?
So, yeah. But I will say it is a beautiful course. And unfortunately, it was so rainy that, we only got to see some of the mountains, but I've seen pictures, and I mean, you can see almost up to Canada on one side of the course. And then, you're looking, south at North Conway, kind of the White Mountains there. And it's just gorgeous. There's nothing like mountain golf that way.
Yeah. So it's the Mountain View Grand Resort and Spa, and
Yep.
so you pay your green fee, and if you want to take a llama caddy, how much extra is the llama caddy?
It's $150 to
Ooh.
take a llama for 9 holes
Oh, okay. And that but that's in
plus
addition to
green
the
fees.
green fee?
Yeah. Yeah. So the green fees, I think they come with a cart. The llama, you get a handler to walk the llama and to kind of, you know, guide you through this experience.
Okay.
Um,
So there we see the handler. And by the way, all these photos are from the great Jim Davis of the Boston Globe. I should have given him credit at the very beginning, but I will give him credit throughout this, and all the stuff you can read in the Globe and see it online. So the hand is there one handler per llama?
I think the way it worked out, so the man in the blue shirt is named Henry Bogdanovich, I believe is his last name. I apologize if I'm getting that wrong, but Henry runs the farm that's on the resort grounds. They have, all kinds of animals down there, and they grow food and they serve it in the restaurant and all that. It's a very eco-friendly thing. Um, so he comes out with another kind of junior staffer, because they had 2 llamas. I assume you get one handler if you only have 1 llama. And he kind of, obviously, I think anybody would have questions. Being a reporter, I had probably more questions than the average person. And he was there to answer all the questions I had about, are they going to spit at me? Are they going to, take off, startle, when I put the clubs in the bag? That actually did happen a little bit. I thought I was going to get bit at one point. It was kind of it didn't like the rain, didn't like the clubs. I had an umbrella. I mean, that was like, I guess to a llama, an umbrella is like, a major threat. So I got a lot wetter. You could maybe see it in the photo, but I got a little bit more soaked than I thought I would, just because I said, all right, well, I guess I got to ditch the umbrella. If
Yeah, because
Elmer is going to be all,
it's
annoyed
spooking the
every time
llama.
I come by, you
Right.
know,
Okay. So I'm having trouble seeing the benefit of the llama caddy. I want to do it. But believe me, just nothing's going to make my game worse. But
yeah.
if they don't love necessarily the rain or an umbrella or even carrying the clubs or the sound of the golf ball being struck, tell me, Matt, what is the benefit of the llama caddy?
I think for
Take your time.
most of our time, they were pretty chill. Uh, you know, it was just a few because it's like a horse, right? I feel I'm now I feel like I now have a little bit of llama experience, so I kind of get their feel. A horse though, it's so big, and it's just I don't necessarily trust it. So if it startles, I'm gonna be sitting there going, oh my god, like 'cause this thing could trample me. The llama you can see in the photos is it's a little bit head taller than me. I think it weighed like 250 pounds, so I can take a llama in a fight if I had to. Probably wouldn't end super well for me, but you know,
Yeah, I don't know. I think you might be able to take Elmer or Yowie. I don't know if you're going to take Elmer and Yowie as a bonded pair if they decide to gang up on you.
that's it. I had my brother-in-law golfing with me, and I think he would have to jump in too. He's got my back. I had his, but like I said though, they were pretty cool the whole time. And when you're talking about the benefits, I think it's like you could probably imagine like it really just it takes any seriousness out of the round, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if you're up there, you know, I think it would have its greatest benefit probably in like a business meeting setting.
Okay.
To really just, if you're entering some kind of serious negotiation and you really want to get a leg up on somebody for some reason in the business world, you add some llamas to the mix, and maybe you'll be able to close the deal because they're so thrown off. Um, I certainly wouldn't bring it out for any kind of competitive situation because it's
No.
just, oh my gosh.
I I,
I
I
played. I, I will say though, like I played okay. Like this is my first round of the year, of
oh.
maybe four this year. I've played once since then, so I might get up to 4 rounds this year. I have a 3-year-old. I just
Oh yeah.
it's just that your time goes. You know, we know where it goes, but I was able to lock in a little bit, maybe not better than usual, but I don't know. It's a little bit relaxing. You just kind of like pet the llama's neck, grab your club from the llama, say thank you, give it a few like alfalfa pellets, and then you go up to the tee and just, don't waste any time, step up and whack it.
Well, I would imagine that it kind of has the same effect as I find of, having a dog around or the family dog. We took our dog on a trip a while back, like a long road trip down to see my mom in North Carolina. And the presence of an animal makes everybody behave better toward each other, there. It's like a calming presence. There's, always this other entity there that just makes everybody kind of relax and say, okay, we're all going to be nice, and we all because we have the dog here. I would assume that it's kind of the same way on the golf course. It's like, hey, before you start throwing clubs and getting all pissed off over a stupid game, we got a llama here, so let's keep things under control.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't really play with anyone like that. I don't know. I've tried to beat, my friends, and I've played competitive golf. I played one college match at Emerson. Um, that was horrible. I shot like a 107. That was another story. Um,
Oof, oof.
but well, yeah, they needed players. I don't know how much you know about Emerson College, but not a sports school. Um, we had a Division 3 golf team. We didn't have enough players, so we had like two guys in the 80s, and then the rest of us, above 100. So
So you were a
great times.
collegiate golfer.
Yeah,
Huh.
exactly. Just like
How
I can
about
call
that?
myself a collegiate hockey player too. I don't know. Like we had a club team there. So
I was gonna say there was not a varsity team at Emerson for hockey. Come on.
no, but we had
Oh,
a rivalry with Berkeley, so that was
oh
that was
my
pretty good.
god.
That was fun times
Well,
back in the.
I encourage anyone who's just listening to look at the photos, look at the story in the Globe, the great photos from Jim Davis. You'll see Matt Porter there out on the golf course with the llama caddy. That is Elmer that we're looking at right now. That is a specific golf bag that Elmer carries. You don't strap your golf bag onto Elmer.
No, they wouldn't let you do that, and he probably wouldn't allow it either. They had
Very
to.
temperament. You know what? These caddies, there's a lot of rules. There's a lot of stuff they don't do. Some of the things that you're using to describe them, they're not too mean. They're,
No.
they're for the most part, they're in a good mood. It's
I
just,
mean,
it's
I'm here, Darty.
and for
I'm
some reason, I still want to do it. I still want to do it, even though there's not a lot of selling points for it.
I'm here to debunk everything you thought you knew about llama golf. I'm here to, to put a stop to any misgivings you might have about going out there in a course with a llama.
Can you
I
take
mean,
your own
like,
bag? No.
no,
Is the llama going to enjoy it? Not really.
probably not.
Will there
I
be
mean,
two llamas if you only need one? Yes, they're a bonded pair.
well,
Jesus,
I
I
didn't
don't
even tell you
understand
about
any of this.
Finnegan. I didn't even tell you about Finnegan.
Who's
Finnegan.
Finnegan?
So Finnegan was the first llama up. He was the guy that they identified as he's an old llama. He's 15 years old, so that's like a senior llama for sure. Um, I guess like they always say, you can't teach an old llama new tricks because he got out there and I can't confirm this. So I can't report this. I'm just telling you what I heard. Okay, I want to make that clear. Mountain View Grand. I'm not throwing Finnegan under the bus. The rumor was that he threw clubs, he spit. The first time they brought him out, Finnegan was not having it. So they retired Finnegan. They put him back down at the farm. They said, go off to the pasture, do what you got to do. I don't know what the retired life of a llama is like, but they brought in Elmer and Yowie after that. So Finn, our man Finn, I'm just glad I didn't get out there with him
I was
because
going to say, so as bad as you think it might be, just think it could have been so much worse. Yeah,
yeah,
Elmer
and
and Yowie are, they are head and shoulders above what you could have had.
I think it's important to note here as well that this was only my round, my abbreviated round up there was only the fourth time they'd ever done this. So they started offering this promotion. It sounds like it hasn't really picked up steam. Maybe that's why they gave me a call. I don't know. Who can say? But so they're new to this. So
Okay.
I think what's important to note is, it's getting late. Maybe you want to do a nice foliage fall round in October, and they're still out there. Maybe they've settled into a groove. But I think going next summer is probably your best bet. Let them get their jitters out because there were a few jitters, believe me. And I'm sure they'll be in a little bit better shape next year.
Well, listen, consider this adding more steam to it, and also I'll put my hand in the air. I would like to try it once at the very least. But you have the luxury of having already done it. Matt Porter of the Boston Globe, pictured there with Elmer and Yowie, the two caddies there at the. Once again, it is the Mountain View Grand Resort and Spa in New Hampshire. So, Matt, congratulations on surviving and, definitely ticking one off the list that you probably didn't even know you had on the list of things you were going to do.
Like I've covered a fair amount of golf. I used to work in South Florida, so I've covered Tiger. I've interviewed all the old legends and stuff. And as golf stories go, it's like going inside the ropes with Tiger Woods as he's making a charge on a Sunday. There's that. That was career highlight for me as far as golf goes. Then it's probably the U.S. Open, Brookline. That was fantastic. But Llama Golf is like right there. So
Oh, yeah.
unforgettable time. That's the selling point for them is like, hey, you're going to remember this round of golf.
And isn't that what we're after? I mean, that's one that you never want to walk away from a round of golf. I don't remember that hole. I really don't have anything to say about it. You won't remember this. All right, Matt. Once again, thank you. Thank you to Jim Davis for the great photos there, and read all about it in the Boston Globe. Matt, thanks again. Good to talk to you, buddy.
Cheers, Artie. You too.
All right, welcome back to the Sports Hub Golf Club. Joining me now, Ken Elworthy. He is the general manager of the Haven Country Club in Boylston, Mass. If you've been a faithful listener to the Sports Hub Golf Club, you're going to know Ken. You're going to know Ken from his previous stops. Ken, it's good to have you back on the show. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Hardy. It's good to be back. It's been a couple of years.
It's been a little while. You and I first met years ago at the Cape Club in Sharon, where I was first introduced to your unique style of scorekeeping. Would you care to share that with everybody?
Well, I'm not sure we can even play that way anymore because I think our games are so much better than they were. But
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
our game was the person who lost the most golf balls would lose the match.
Right. So we would get done. Generally, Ken and I were both time for nine guys. I got
That
time
was
for
it.
nine. Let's go play nine. And at the end of nine holes, how many balls you lose? Two. How many did you lose? One. Oh, congratulations, you won.
Yeah. Much easier to keep score that way.
Yeah, I know. Especially if you start with just a sleeve, and you count how many balls, and if there's no balls left in the sleeve, and you had to go into the shag pocket, well, then you definitely lost.
I think I've been there a couple times.
Well, it's good to have you on today, Ken, because the course you're at now in Boylston is one that I've had a chance to play. I don't know, two or three times. A friend of mine was a member there a while ago. It's called the Haven. Why don't you give us a little history of what the Haven was, as it was previously named, and what's how it's come to be known as it is now?
Yep. So the Haven was built in 1955. It was a William Mitchell golf course, and that it was created as Mount Pleasant. It was actually originally started, I believe, in Lake Leicester, Mass, and then moved to Boylston when it became an 18-hole golf course. So Mount Pleasant was in existence for quite a while, then was sold to a member, bought it probably about 13, 14 years ago. And then just recently, the last two years, a company called Invited Clubs, which was formerly Club Corps, purchased it. Now, it's a corporate-owned club. And Invited Golf, we own 160 plus golf courses throughout the country.
Wow.
So it's pretty exciting to be part of the big corporation now. It's a little bit different than privately owned clubs like we were at before.
Is there any privileges or reciprocity or anything with the other clubs that Invited Clubs owns if you're a member at the Haven?
Yeah, we offer a thing called X Life. So X Life is a small fee monthly. At the Haven, it's $35 a month, and it gives you access to all those different golf courses, and you can play for a cot fee for twice a month at them. So we have two sister courses in Massachusetts, the Ridge Club in Sandwich, Mass, and then
sure.
Ipswich, and Ipswich Country Club up in Ipswich. So two beautiful golf courses plus the Haven. So you got three great golf courses just in Massachusetts alone.
I've never been to Ipswich, but I've been to the Ridge, and that's a fantastic golf course. Let me just cut to the chase here. Any courses in Las Vegas? Because that's my other favorite place to play. And if you've, got any member courses out there, we can really have some fun.
I think there's some courses certainly out in Arizona area. Yep, there's plenty.
Now, I didn't say Arizona.
Well, I'm not,
I said Las Vegas.
I would probably say no, there are no Las Vegas courses, but there are definitely in that area.
All right, close enough, I guess.
Close enough. You can get there.
So let's talk a little bit about the golf course first. And if you're watching the video right here, you can see some of the photos here of the Haven. Again, I've played it before, Ken. It really was something I was not expecting in terms of layout, conditions. For a golfer of my caliber, very forgiving, very accommodating. Certainly any golf course I find to be a challenge, but I do appreciate it when the golf course doesn't beat you up every single shot all day. And the Haven, last time I played it a couple of years ago, fit that description. I mean, really fair layout as I remember it, fantastic conditions, just a really enjoyable way to play. How do you describe it to people who haven't been there before?
Well, I agree. It's a fantastic golf course. It's a parkland golf course, so there isn't a lot of woods in play. So, you can play from underneath the tree lines and that divide the holes up. So it's certainly more forgiving. The traps were redone a couple of years ago. The tee boxes were redone a few years ago. So there's a lot of updates to the golf course. The greens are usually what's your challenge here, and so that's what the great protector of the course is. And they're very undulated. They can get really speedy when they dry out. But it's a super fun golf course to play, and our members absolutely love playing here.
Yeah, I remember a couple of par fours, and as a matter of fact, if we can go back to one of those previous shots, I believe this is the one. There are a number of holes where, drivers coming out of my bag, anything over 250 yards. I mean,
Yeah.
as long as it's not a crazy dog leg and like a true position hole. But there are a couple of holes like this on the golf course. Again, if you're watching the video of this right now, it's a dog leg right, where if you can shave off a little bit of that corner, you're going to put yourself in great shape. If you go a little long, you're going to be in the rough. Not completely penalizing. If you go super long, yeah, you're going to have some blockage issues. But it does give longer hitters some options off the tee, and also some nice risk reward opportunities out there.
Yeah, certainly. So you can attack the golf course, and like I said, when you get on the green is where the challenge becomes, where you're going to have your A game, because the greens can get pretty slick here.
Yeah. What do you describe the greens as, other than undulating? Do they typically run speedier than, say, nice public courses or other private courses in the area? I mean, just for someone who hasn't played there before.
I think we stimp out in between probably 11 and 12, which is pretty decent speed. A good 10.5 if it's a hot day. But
yeah.
So I mean, that's really where you're attacking. There's a lot of false fronts on these greens, so they're all elevated. So a lot of the balls you could putt from the backside or go right off the front if you're not careful.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, I always appreciate that. Yeah. See, I just got done saying like how this course doesn't beat you up and it's really fair. And then you bring up the perfect example of being punished for a good shot type.
Yeah, but the only good thing is we're not going to lose a golf ball on the putting green. So we're pretty good. We're safe.
Well, yeah, for you and me, for our scorekeeping purposes.
Yeah.
That certainly helps.
Yeah.
In terms of the rest of the club there, I didn't get a chance to see much other than, the dining room and the locker room there, but it's really kind of a family club. I mean, you got a pool, you've got, pretty much all the amenities that you would be looking for in a traditional, like family type of country club.
Yeah, it's certainly, Invited's mentality is about club experience. So it is about families. Our membership is strictly a one membership for all, for families. So there's no individual memberships. It's just family or whatever you're at. So we have a fantastic pool complex. We got a really good practice facility, driving range, chipping area, putting area. And we're slated to put in 6 brand new pickleball courts in the spring.
Wow. Now,
so,
I mean, that's taken over. Now, how does that work at your club? Because I know other clubs have run into the issue with, pickleball has a very distinct sound that it creates. You guys have enough of a buffer around you to where that's not going to be a problem?
Well, not sure. They say the new court.
I'm sorry I asked, because I can already tell by the answer.
So I don't know. I mean, the pickleball is like a wiffle ball game, and so it does make a loud noise. But supposedly the new courts that are coming out with this polyfiber top into it, supposed to deaden the sound. Yet to be seen. Okay. We'll see. But it's certainly the pickleball courts are only near the chipping area and the 10th hole. So I think we're safe.
I didn't mean to bring up a sore subject.
Nah, never.
raise a potential problem with some of your nearby residents there. Are there houses near the course?
Not many. No, this sits in a good little spot. There's just a couple houses on the other side of the road, so they won't be bothered by it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried about bothering like golfers or people there eating or anything. It tends to be the people who live near the pickleball courts that have an issue with it.
If I'm on the tee, I don't want to be hearing a wiffle ball getting banged around while I'm trying to practice, make sure I don't lose that ball.
Do you honestly think that's going to affect your game adversely? No.
So I could have a Mack truck drive by me. It wouldn't affect me.
I'm trying to create distractions because I think it might help me.
Exactly. Exactly.
I had a bad case of the two-way miss with the driver here last weekend. I don't want to get into it, but rest assured, I've been putting in the time on the range. I'm getting it figured out. The answers are in the dirt, as Ben Hogan once said. Or something.
Yes, exactly right. Exactly right.
So, what's your membership like right now? You guys all full up? You accepting members? Where are you at?
No, we accepting members. We're pretty full, but we always have attrition each year, just like every club. So we certainly we're looking to, add family members and grow the community here, which we, trying to build a different culture, more family oriented. Memberships start out, for that young 40 and associate golf, around $640 a month. And we do a monthly payment plan here. There is an initiation fee, and obviously they can reach out through the website and speak to the membership directors about that. But yep, definitely accept the new members. We also have the pool membership, like most of the private clubs, and great dining area, great experience with the food here. It's very good.
How's the chef? Let's talk about the important stuff here.
He's really good. Everything is freshly made. Cuts his own steaks, cuts his own fish. He does everything. He's fantastic.
What's the best thing on the menu?
The roast beef sandwich.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Now it's a lot of people are going to raise their eyebrows saying, you guys aren't a North Shore country club. What are you doing?
It's a North Shore roast beef sandwich. Now you say it.
You're serving a roast beef sandwich out in Boylston. What are you doing?
No, it's full prime ribs sliced thin. It's spectacular.
All right. So let's also get this out of the way. We should have done this at the beginning, but as you're describing the location of Boylston, Mass, for those who don't know, how do you describe it? Do you try and get away with saying that's Metro West?
This is, I would say, outskirts of Worcester, right? So, so we hover just off of Route 290, right next to the Northborough-Boylston border.
Okay. Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. I've been out there a couple of times, and I'm not the type of guy who needs to go, to the far reaches to play golf. Most of my golf is played, 10, 15 minutes from my house. But having been out there multiple times tells you it's not too far, because I won't drive too far to play golf. There's too many good options close to where most people live, myself included, to travel that far. It was absolutely worth the trip, and it's not much of a trip. It's Boylston sounds farther than it is.
Yeah, and it's really on the outskirts of Boylston. It's really, it's just off of 290, so it's pretty close. It's purely a Central Mass golf course.
Gotcha. All right. Well, Ken Elworthy, whom we've known on this program for years, now at the Haven Country Club in Boylston, Mass. He's the general manager there. I'm just wondering when we're going to get a chance to get out and play our unique brand of golf again, Ken.
The invitation's always open. You know that. Love to have you.
I appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for taking the time. Congratulations on the new position there at the Haven. And like I said, it's a fantastic golf course. You ever get a chance to play it, you should. If you're in that area and you're looking at clubs, I highly recommend it just on the couple of times I've been there, to the Haven Country Club in Boylston. Ken Elworthy is our guest. Ken, thanks again for being on the show.
Thanks, Hardy. It was great talking to you again. Have a great day.